I have my master's in business just from the School of Hard Knocks. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Not I do have a business degree, but the master's part came because just hard knocks, just experience, just getting burnt, learning from
Yep.
mistakes. Welcome back, folks. This is episode 18 of It's About Your Paycheck, and we're talking about the SuSu. Before we get into the details of that, what's up, Walt? How you doing today, sir?
It's not your auntie SuSu. The SuSu
It
in
might be
circle.
though. Oh, yeah. It might be your auntie
It
SuSu
might
though.
be your auntie. Yeah, it might be. She might be into this. I'm doing good,
This
man.
what I'm
How about you?
saying. Good, man. Man, good, bro. I'm literally going through the highs and the lows. It never fails when something good, yeah, we get the high, but then something the lows coming, and hey, you got to deal with both. Got to balance it out, and that's why we say to each other all the time: don't go too low, don't go too high. Got to keep it balanced.
Triumph and
Deal
defeat. Triumph and defeat, sir.
triumph and defeat, bro. Triumph and
Yep.
defeat. Treat them both just the same. Treat
Yeah,
them imposters just the same.
we need to come out with a song.
Oh, we could
Defeat.
probably could. You could write
Yeah.
this out. I'm not a, but if y'all don't know, Walt has a SoundCloud out there. You might want to look for Walt's SoundCloud and hear
Nah.
his music. He is a
Nah.
talented music artist.
I-
No, for
but
real.
hey,
You got you bro, you definitely have talent. You
yeah.
never I don't know how wait, you did tell me like when you were younger you had a group, you and your
Oh
bro
yeah.
two
Yeah.
audio.
There's a couple of neighbors, man. We got together. We would
See?
just freestyle
You
over
see?
some beats and stuff. And
If
now I
y'all
just
kept
like,
with that, you could have been up there
yeah,
with the greats.
yeah, maybe.
I think you have talent at this. You did payroll instead of music. That's
Yeah,
all.
I just did payroll instead of music.
You see
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah. I should have done music and stand up. That's what it should have
Uh,
been.
Dang, yes. I don't know how funny you are though. You got a comedy skit. You funny like that, but can you do 10 minutes of comedy?
I can.
Now.
Just talking
You
about my
think you
life.
can?
Yeah, I can. Absolutely. Yes.
Wait, so then
Yes.
you have to go to a stand-up comedy spot and get on, what is it,
I've
open
been
mic night.
I've been thinking about it, honestly.
You need to
Honestly,
do an
I
open
have.
mic. Get
Yeah.
shoot. Let me know so I can be in the crowd recording, and we can have some clips for the show.
Brian would be like, "Boo, you suck."
I'll be your heckler. I'll be in the crowd
Yeah.
heckling you.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, man. I'm good, bro.
Oh,
So,
that's funny. My dentist calling me. I got a dentist appointment later.
oh, okay,
Anywho,
okay. This episode is presented by TrakGO, the simply better employee time clock software that is going to make your life easier. In addition to the unique graphical employee time card that helps you quickly identify and fix mistakes, TrakGO is excited to announce it's now compatible with QuickBooks Desktop, providing effortless data transfer and reduced errors. TrakGO will not only save you time and money each week, but the easy to understand user interface and the ability to turn an ordinary tablet into an employee time clock will get you and your team up and going in just minutes. Find out what a simply better solution can do for your business. To learn more and sign up for your 14-day free trial, go to www.timetrackgo.com. That's TIMETRAK go.com or call 888-321-9922. Let's go. Yeah,
yeah.
man.
So
So,
anywho, we getting into Susu. This is this about your paycheck. Did I cut you off? We gonna get into it
no, no,
or
no, no,
gonna
no.
say something? Oh,
I was
okay.
just gonna get into it. Yeah, yeah. That's it.
We are, and I don't know if you folks have ever heard of a SuSu, but it's this like informal savings group, right? And
Yeah.
there are a few different names, and we're gonna get into that. But before that, we have some pay news for you and keep you updated on what's going on and the things that impact your paycheck, impact your earnings. And Walt
hmm
has the first story for you, and I will have the second. So go ahead and take it away, sir.
Thank you, sir. So, since
Absolutely.
we were talking about savings, I did some research and just wanted to get some stats about how much Americans save based on their age groups, right? So, this is an article from marketwatch.com, and they have some pretty great stats out there. So, according to the data available from the Federal Reserve's Board Survey of Consumer Finances, the median savings balance, not including retirement funds, of Americans under 35 is just a little bit over $3,200. And that can jump up to 6,400 for those between the ages of 55 to 64.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, so the latest data that's available from this source, it is from 2019, but some sources out there put the average savings even higher. Northwestern Mutual's 2022 Planning in Progress study revealed that the average amount of personal savings, not including investments, was a little bit over 62,000 in 2022. Now, while those numbers look high, there is one caveat to this is that many Americans do not have any savings at all. According to
Yep. You got.
bank rate
Mhm.
data from January 2022, almost 60% of Americans are unable to cover an unexpected $1,000 bill or occurrence,
That's
something
right.
that will happen.
Yeah.
Basically they don't have $1,000 saved up for an emergency. So think about that. So if 60% of us can't do that, means the people who are in that 40 percentile have all that savings
Mhm.
to
Yeah.
themselves. So
Basically.
over yeah,
Yeah.
over half of us don't have enough money saved up or anything like that. So that's just something to really think about there. And that's pretty much it when I had for my news article. What about you, man?
Yeah, no, that's a big call out because we covered that data point as well. The whole 60% of us don't have savings, don't have an
Hmm.
emergency fund. So it is a great call out. And then it made me think about I recently demoed a company and I forgot the name of it. Maybe I can find it for the show. Anywho, it doesn't. There's not a lot of business or consumer opportunity with it. They're trying to sell this product to your company so that your company can give it to you for free. So that's why
Yeah,
they came at me, right? As a HR payroll professional, we get a lot of demo solicitations. Hey, come look at what I got,
yeah,
and so you guys can buy it from us and give it to your employees and stuff. This was a really great product, but it's expensive. One, it's expensive for the
yeah.
employer, so I wouldn't be mad at companies that don't offer it because, and I think honestly, the product was so good that I think I asked them, I was like, you should offer this directly to consumers because if I'm really serious about saving money and financial wellness,
Yeah.
I think they said it was only like 100 and change per employee for the
Hmm.
year if they wanted to get it to themselves. And I get it. If you already can't save money, if you're not good with finances, you may not getting the 102, let's say 200, let's call it $200 together to invest in this may be a challenge and a barrier. But
Yeah.
anywho, one of the cool things that it did is if you could get involved in this program, but again, and it leads so good into SuSu because it's a forced savings, a forced or being held accountable to save the money. What
Yeah.
they did was the product was that they helped the first goal was to save $2,500 for emergency savings. Just
Hmm.
put it aside. And I just told my daughter the same thing. I was like, she's like trying to track her credit score and do this and that and save. And she's trying to pay attention to the financial wellness really early on. She's only 20. So
That's
this
good.
is the moment that what she'd be a millionaire by 40 if she was aggressive with savings.
Build good habits
Yeah.
now. Yes.
Build good habits now. Exactly. And that's what I was trying to tell her. And yeah, I just thought that is a good starting point is that emergency savings funds and then act like you don't have it. You have to now act like you're
Yeah.
back to zero and then add the next goal on. So anywho, that was
Yeah.
all that. Just your article made me think of all those things. The one I have going along the same thread here is understanding basic investing concepts, and this is from Forbes magazine. And the article covers five or so things, or no, I just picked one of them out because it's this stuff is difficult to understand for me. I can only give you what I understand, folks. Sorry. But there's a ton of investing information out there podcasts, websites, articles, books. Forget about it. There's a ton of stuff. You just got to find where you're comfortable with. And that's
Yeah.
why we're starting you off in that beginning of this journey. That's where this show falls. We are at the beginning of your financial wellness, right? So,
Yes.
anywho, this Forbes article talks about two key ways to make money from investments are selling an asset or selling an asset for more than what you paid for it. They say capital gains, but think stock market, right? You buy a stock
Gotcha.
share for $5 and maybe 2 weeks later it goes up to $10 and you can sell it and boom, you just made a profit. And think
Gotcha.
about that across a lot of dollars, right? The stock market makes sense when you can invest tens of thousands of dollars into it. And if it goes up, your share goes up by percentages. Oof, you go up 50%, boom, now you got $15,000 out of nowhere when if you start with 10, right?
Yeah.
It goes up 50%. Boom, you got 10,000. So that's what they're saying. You're selling an asset for more than what you paid for it, or covers a lot of things. You can buy a car at one price and sell it for more, right? You can buy a house with one and sell it for more. These different purchases have different levels of complexity, but
Yeah.
that is a basic understanding of how you make money, right? The
Yeah.
other way is an earning yield, such as dividends or interest or rental income. So, dividends, and there's a definition here, but the layman term is basically a dividends from some stock purchases
Hmm.
pay their shareholders dividends every quarter. So depending on how much stock you have, you get a few dollars back. And again, it works in tens of thousands because if you have 10,000 shares of something and they give you $2 or $3 a share back every quarter, that's a lot of money that you're just making on dividends. You just own the stock, right?
Yes.
Interest is another thing. We always talk about interest in the banks, how they don't pay a lot, but maybe 401k might yield a little bit more. Aggressive stock, something they may. So, interest is another way. And the interest on things is how you make money back. You put $100
Yes.
there and you get 5% interest, which is really good at a bank, but 5% interest back on that, right? You do the math, $5 back on this and that. That's how the interest works. Rental income is a
Yes.
little easier to understand, right? You buy a house and maybe your mortgage and expenses all in at 3,000, but maybe you can rent it for 3,500. Boom, that 500 becomes your income, right? So that's an
Yes.
easier way to understand it. So those are a few different ways to understand like some beginning investing. What again, basic investing concepts, Forbes magazine article. The link will be in the show notes. Yeah, I'm just looking through here. Yeah, yeah. So those are the layman's terms for it. Again, the article gets deep, and with these things, like where you gotta when you do the research and you dig in, every word you don't understand along that journey, you need to stop and look it up. That's
Yourself. Yes.
that's yeah, that's what people don't want to do. Hopefully we'll take some of the work out of it, but this is not a financial advisoring show. We're not telling you how
Yes.
to invest. We're just saying
Yes.
investing is important and it's the
Testimony.
key, right? Investing is important and it's the key to building wealth and financial freedom, right?
Yeah. And you
Um
definitely want to understand. You definitely want to understand what the difference between an asset and a liability is, right?
yeah,
In short, assets put money in your pocket, and liabilities take money out,
yeah.
right? So,
Yeah,
like,
basically. Yeah.
so I know Brian mentioned a car, right? You buy it for one price, and then you may sell it for a different price, right? So, let's say you brought an old school car, or a throwback car, and you put some time and energy into it, and you paid a certain price, and then you restore it, and then you sell it for a little bit more. That's a little bit different than actually buying a newer car, which we all know as soon as you drive it off the lot, the it it like nosedives in value,
Depreciates. Yeah.
depreciates, right? And so you
Yep.
that will happen. So that is a liability. So you want to understand the differences between what an asset is and what a liability is. So definitely educate yourself on that. All right.
Yeah,
So now we're gonna
absolutely.
get into it, man. Susu. What you
Let's
got? You
do
got
it.
some there, man.
Yeah, to break it down, right? What is a SuSu? We're spelling it SuSu, and it could also be spelled. Did you hear any background noise?
Sounds like a bike or something.
Oh,
Motorcycle.
okay.
Yeah. I don't hear it now. It's like
Yeah, it's and work done in the bathroom, so it's making noise. Okay, so let's try it again.
oh,
Hopefully,
okay.
it should be short term. So yeah, a SuSu. We're spelling it SuSu. Another spelling is SOU-SOU. It's an informal savings club that originated in West Africa and the Caribbean. It's a rotating savings method where a small group of people contribute equal amounts of money to a pool on a regular basis. The pool
Mm,
is then paid out to a different member each month or each frequency until everyone
mhm.
in the group has received their share back or their total back, right? Susus are also known as merry-go-rounds, partners, podna. I don't
Partner.
know how partner. Very
Partner.
slang. Yeah, but look it up. The notes.
Yeah.
Soul and sands. I don't know. I don't know what the savings club is a nice basic way to say it. There are
Yes.
tradition that many cultures still participate in, even though they don't offer legal protection. SuSu are general social groups that encourage thrift and can foster a sense of community building, discipline, and accountability. Sure. The way
Yeah.
it works is, again, the members pay a fixed equal amount into a common fund, and on a weekly, bi weekly, or monthly basis, folks
Yeah.
take
Like you said.
turns to get paid
Yeah.
back. And
Yeah.
again, is this legal? It's not. It doesn't provide the same legal protections or traditional banking. It's very much but it's not illegal either. Only,
Yeah.
it's only illegal if you're literally doing something illegal as a result of it or part of it.
Yeah.
And just as a
Like,
disclaimer, folks, this is not
yeah.
professional financial advice. Consulting financial advisor about your particular circumstances is best. But again, so that's how it works. My mom used to do it back in the day, and that's
Yeah.
how
My
I was
mom did
exposed
it.
to it. And
Yeah.
right, and that's how I
Yeah.
brought it up because I'm thinking before we did the research, I was like, "Oh, I bet nobody's ever heard of this." And my mom did some
Yeah.
crazy stuff back in the day. And we did. I started doing the research, and I'm like, "Oh, of course, West Africans and Caribbeans invented it."
Yep.
So
Yeah.
also, so
Yes.
no wonder why my Puerto Rican mom has done it, and she,
Yep.
right,
Out in the
she's always
Caribbean.
like,
Yep.
yeah. And being in nursing, a lot of her coworkers were always Caribbean. So, anywho, and in nursing in New York more specifically. So,
Gotcha.
anywho, yeah. So we thought this is interesting to talk about because it's a savings thing. And one of the things that I did when I was thinking about it, I was like, wait a minute, how much do you put, ma? One day, because I was like, always, I'm not a mathematician. I'm not great with math, but I was always curious about numbers, right? Business
Yeah.
numbers, money, making
Yeah. Yeah.
money,
Yeah.
and what is that? When you flip this for that, how much do I make back? And somebody put a bug in my bag, a battery in my back real early on, and taught me, hey, you can make $1 too, right? I did the math one day, and I was like, wait, ma, how much do you put in? When? How long? And did the calculate by how many times she put it. And when do you get your money back? And, oh, down here. Oh, okay. Because she never got the payment right away. She was always one of the folks
Yeah.
down the line. And I
Yeah.
think she did it on purpose. If I'm not mistaken, she said, no, put me down the line. Because so really, she forced herself to save money. That's how
Yeah.
she used it.
Yeah.
So and after doing the math, I realized there's no benefit to this. You just saving money, but you giving it to somebody else to save it for you. That's
Yeah.
the only benefit you're really getting is forcing the save. So yeah, what are your thoughts on it?
I think it's interesting. I think if it's done that, it can definitely have some benefits. Like you said in your
Right.
and what you said, it doesn't have the same protections as it would in an
Hmm.
actual banking thing, especially if you're just collecting people's payments from in Cash App or Zelle or whatever, and it's just sitting there.
Right.
It's not accruing any interest. It's not doing this or anything like that. And there's nothing stopping the person who's in charge of collecting people's funds from just being like, all right,
Selling.
I'm out.
Yep.
So that's the thing you have to consider and worry about. That's how I feel about it. Before I get into it, is there anything else you want to say or anything, bro?
No, I was just curious. Yeah, before help us. Yeah, no, that was it. I was curious. Thank you, though.
Okay. All right. So investing and participating in SuSu saving circles can be beneficial in some ways as a financial strategy, but there are also some potential pitfalls to be aware of. So I'm going to go through a few different points, which include things to avoid and how this may actually help. So the first
Got it.
point is community support. SuSu saving circles often involve a close knit community pulling their resources together, and this can provide a strong support network and foster trust amongst the participants. If you have a tight knit group that you're already cool with, and you may not necessarily live in the same area, but you have a good friends group, then this might be something that you want to consider amongst those people if you feel that they're trustworthy and you have that in place already. And it can, like I said, it can create even more trust amongst yourselves, right? Doing this regularly can give you some discipline, right? So regular savings will lead to discipline. So participating in the SuSu requires regular contributions, as Brian alluded to earlier, and that can instill discipline and how you save. It can particularly be helpful for individuals who struggle to maintain a consistent savings habit, right? So
Yes.
if
Yeah.
everybody has an agreement, like, hey, on every check we're going to do this, and everybody will give the same amount, then you'll be accountable to the people that you're in the group with, and they'll hold you accountable. Say, hey, you need to give your money. Everybody else did. Where's your money at?
So that could increase discipline, right? It'll give you access to funds, right? So think about that stat that we said, right? A lot of us don't have $1,000 in case of an emergency, let alone $500 in case of an emergency, right? So doing this, participating in one of these, will give you access to some emergency funds. And it'll be lump sum money that you can access in certain intervals, and which could be helpful for covering those unexpected expenses, and or if you need to make a large purchase without resorting to those high interest loans like I had to do back in the day when I was struggling, those payday
Payday
advance
loans.
loans,
Hmm.
man, and then they
Right.
charge you, you get $1,000 loan and you end up paying $5,000 back, you
Yep.
know.
They gotta
So
kill you.
those things are crazy. Now, one of the pitfalls, it is a risk of default. So one of the potential downsides is the risk of default if one or more participants fail to make their contributions. That can
Hmm.
disrupt the entire cycle and cause
Hmm.
financial strain on other members who may actually be relying on those funds, right? So that's why you need to have the right group of people in it, right? So, building credit worthiness, consistently participating in and successfully completing a SuSu can demonstrate financial responsibility and help individuals build their credit worthiness, especially in communities where traditional banking services may be inaccessible or underutilized. To maximize the benefits of doing one of these SuSus or partner programs, it's important
Sorry.
to choose it's important to choose reliable partners, selecting trustworthy individuals to participate in the SuSu. It can definitely minimize the risk of default and ensure a smooth operation. You definitely want to define and set clear rules, establish those rules and guidelines for contributions, withdrawals, and penalties for any missed payments to avoid misunderstandings or conflicts amongst those who are participating. You can diversify savings. So consider diversifying the savings by participating in multiple SuSu circles or combine SuSu savings with other investment strategies to mitigate risk and maximize returns. So if you have an agreement in place, like, hey, we're going to take some of this money, we're going to all put in $150, and of the $150, 25 of that from each of us is going to go into this stock or into crypto or into this or whatever. And that's an agreement that can help you diversify your savings and make you, and maybe have some long term downstream wealth come in
Impact.
for you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
impacts, you know what I'm saying? But the most important part is the education piece of this. It will provide financial education and literacy to participants to help them make informed decisions about managing their money and understanding the benefits and risks associated with these circles. So there's nothing like in my I don't know if you agree with this sentiment, but there's nothing like peer pressure. So if no, there's not. So
Yeah.
if
No,
you're
I
in one
agree. I'm laughing.
if
Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't. Yep. I agree.
no, if you're in one of these groups and you give somebody your word that you're gonna do something, and then it comes to your time to give or donate. Now I understand things happen in life, unexpected things or whatever, and if you
Hmm.
have those things defined and stuff like that's fine. But there's nothing like somebody else a bunch of people looking at you like, hey, Walt, what's up?
Yeah.
Everybody else
Yeah.
gave.
I get it.
Everybody else communicated what's up, and
Accountability. Yep.
that can make people lose trust in you and like lose faith. I don't want to do this anymore if Walt's involved in it because he's
Hmm.
been doing this, he's been doing that. So
Hmm.
that's
There's
just
a
some
few
things to
people.
think
Yep.
about. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you want to follow those established guidelines. You want to be vigilant and about the potential risk that participating in a SuSu saving circle can bring. A SuSu circle can be a valuable tool for building financial stability and achieving long-term goals. But if it's done wrong, it can also bring about lots of risk, and you could be out
Oh hell
on
yeah.
money.
You
You
lose
know what I'm
money.
saying?
Yeah.
Yep.
As we near the end of this episode, we like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to you for listening. Before we sign off, here are a couple quick things. Don't forget to follow It's About Payroll on LinkedIn and It's About Your Paycheck on Facebook and TikTok. We love engaging with our audience, and you'll be able to receive exclusive updates and behind the scenes content. Thank you for being a part of our payroll community, and thank you for being a part of this journey with us. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep going.
Yep.
Yep.
You lose money. You got to be careful who you're dealing with, man. I got burned recently in the last few years by a young man who was out there on IG, me and a partner. Me and
I
remember I was
was
telling him about you. I
partner.
was telling you about him. Yep,
Oof,
yep.
I was so hot. I was
He
so
did a
hot
partner
for you.
move.
I
He
was
did the
so hot
partner
for
move
you.
for sure. No,
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't get anybody else involved because
Yeah.
we ended up me and my partner, my neighbor, ended up losing money with this kid because he was trying to do basically yeah, it was illegal forex trading for like a broker. You could do it legally, and when you do it legally, they have more money requirements, higher risk, higher money to get involved, blah blah blah. This kid, he was trying to do it. And honestly, at the end of the day, he would probably just scammed really well. He took advantage of social media. He saw how he could really influence the people, and just probably made out with, I would say, between 50 and 100 grand of people's money. Yep.
Wow, bro.
I would say conservatively he made out
Whatever happened
he
with
went
him?
out.
Whatever happened with him?
He
Did he ever get?
disappeared from IG. Because remember, all we had was his IG
Wow.
handle. We never thought to get his phone number, and even if we got it, would have been the right one or whatever.
Could have been a
We
burner
could have
phone.
dropped
Yeah.
everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
even if we try to valid, the only thing that we could have done is, hey, we need to meet in person, and I'll Zell you in person when I meet you, and I see you get some
With your
validation. Let me see your
name.
license. Yep, I want
hmm
to see. Won't like that could have been the way to do it. But we were so like desperate for
Yeah.
money and it sounded so great that we just got blinded by it and it was just like, oh, end up losing the money. So you got to
And
be
oh,
careful who you get involved with
so you got involved with him because your neighbor
because
suggested
my
it.
neighbor was, yep,
Yep.
yep, yep. And yeah, exactly. So that peer pressure, like you said, that's what made me think of it. But hey, it wasn't my neighbor. I didn't blame my neighbor, right? I made the decision on my own, and I
Yeah. At the end of
lost.
the day.
I
Yeah.
lost. Yeah, I lost. And that's what investing is, that you take risks. But
Yeah.
being informed mitigates that risk. It
Yes,
lessens the
sir.
risk. The more you're
Yes, sir.
informed, the more credible you're gonna do way better with Robinhood and JP Morgan's apps than Fulano from IG, from your neighbor who is doing a susu.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Walt is a
Educate
very
yourself.
trusting person, and hey,
Oh.
great, it depends, but
Uh,
yeah, we'll
I
get
mean,
to in safe.
I give grace. I don't know if I
Yeah,
trust.
don't take it, don't take kindness for stupid, right?
Yeah. I've
No
been burnt
doubt.
too many times, man, trying to deal with people and
Yeah,
money. And I think that's a
exactly.
perfect segue, man, to this safe talk segment, right?
Yep.
Should we mix money matters with friends, family, coworkers, business, savings, investing? Yeah, Nate, what do you feel about that, man? Should we mix
I,
money matters with the people in our circle?
I guess it depends. Because my knee jerk answer is hell no. I've been burnt too many times, but we're
hmm
friends and we've mixed money matters. But
hmm
we did it legally. We did it
Yes.
the
We
right
signed
way,
something.
right? We signed something, we agree, we're partners, like we're taking the risk for the wins and the losses together.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's different when you legally bind. Shoot, I'll do a susu all day if I could sign a document and I can see if I know who the person is and his credentials, and hey, I know we're
Yep.
going through this kind of in a shoot. Even if they sign a promise, like for me to do it, the administrator of the susu would have to sign a document to everybody in it that if it defaults and something
Yes.
goes wrong, they are gonna cover. They're
Yeah.
not. They're liable for not stealing anybody's money. Now, you
Yes, bro.
can't be liable for someone who commits to be a part of it and then doesn't follow through. That's
Yeah.
different. You know what I mean? But even that, there's got to be insurances, because if you're the first person that gets paid out in the susu and then you decide not to pay back in the
I'm
rest of your
done.
payments,
hmm
peace, fools. Like, how do we take care of that? How does that addressed? Because now he
Well,
just
see,
stole from the group.
that's why I think what it said you have to. I share the same sentiment, right, with you, because it
Okay.
really just depends, bro. Because
No, for
it
sure.
it, uh, it really just depends, because it's just there's always going to be a risk, and I think you have to understand. As long as you understand that, hey, there's a risk in this because we're not doing it through a conventional banking system. We're doing it amongst ourselves. You have to understand, hey, somebody may do us dirty. Somebody in the group
Yep.
may be shady. Like that. That's why it's important. I think if you are going to do it, you need to know the people and at least know some of their habits as much as possible. That's why if you get with somebody that, like Brian's neighbor referred him to this that dude on IG, he trusted his neighbor. I don't know how you felt, but you may have trusted somebody
Yeah.
in this
It's
situation,
just
and that's it for me. Like I would have to
I just took a
trust,
risk.
yeah, whether they're friends or okay, whether they're friends or family. In order for me to do a susu, I would have to at least know, hey, this person, how is their life? How does their life look? Are they constantly doing this? Not to hold anybody's past against them or anything like that, but in their past, how have they been? If I know that they have a bunch of repossessions, if I know that they're always constantly robbing Peter to pay Paul, if I know that they're
Hmm.
constantly doing all these different things, is that somebody that I want to get in bed with in a
Yep.
financial sense?
Exactly.
So it honestly depends. It's either way, like Brian said, it's going to be a risk. So it depends. Like, should we? Maybe if it's going to help the group in a whole, maybe not.
Right. Yeah. No, I feel you.
I don't know, man. That's
I
it.
feel you. It's a tough one, man. It's doing business, and I've done business with family, and but see, we didn't. I didn't have any legal agreement then. It was just
Ah,
you get so
for the
excited, and you but then
on the strength of blood. Yep.
and you don't think anything of you. Like, oh, this is blood. So nothing's gonna go wrong. And when money gets involved, things can go wrong. Folks can think differently and start thinking about, and it's okay. That was my lesson. I'm a student
Yeah.
of business, and I've been trying to do business for
Uh,
since I was like 19. Shoot, if you count the comic book sales and the lemonade stands and the delivering newspapers as a kid and shoveling driveways and doing all
gonna.
these things, this is all my life. This is a
Yep.
lifelong journey of entrepreneurship.
Oh yes, man.
And you just take it all as I have my master's in business just from the school of hard knocks. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Not I do have a business degree, but the master's part came because just hard knocks, just experience, just getting burnt, learning from
Yep.
mistakes and
Yep.
continuing to do that. We still make mistakes, so I just make less of them now, you know.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, man. So for that, it really would depend. And getting involved with family and friends on a business level would require legal documentation, legal
Yeah.
agreements, as it should be with anyone you get involved with business. That's my 2 cents for it. You know what I mean?
You reminded me of this story. Like growing up, you ever had the candy lady in the hood? Like
Yep.
the lady who sold like candy and pickled eggs and all this other stuff from her
Mm-hmm.
house,
Yep.
and she didn't have a LLC. She didn't have anything
Nope.
legally business right, but she was just out there like buying stuff and selling stuff from her house and doing
Mm.
this. And I
Enemy, we
remember a
knew. Yep.
story of growing up where these two friends they started doing that. Hey, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna sell in my neighborhood. You sell in your neighborhood. We'll come
Oh, no
together and
doubt.
buy this and buy that. And then, but one of the friends was taking a little extra and doing this and wasn't really
Oh,
sharing. Yes, and the other lady found out and they ended up beefing and like that was the end
yeah.
of that relationship because
There you go.
one person in that started getting a little greedy. Like that can happen in these susu circles, and even if they're blood or not. You know what I'm saying? Even if
Yeah.
you're
Oh,
blood
heck
related or
yeah.
not, it can
Yeah.
happen, man. So I just go back to that it is a risk. You have to
Hmm.
understand.
Yes.
And if you understand that, then I think you will go into it a little bit more at ease. Okay, I know this is a risk for me because I'm doing this and it's not, especially if it's a legal circle and then somebody does something that goes against the agreement, then at least you know that hey, we have something in writing. Then if the person that is the collector of all funds does something, then they're liable, like Brian said. So you just have to
Hmm.
understand that there is a risk, in my opinion.
Heck yeah. Anything to do with money. Saving
Yep.
is not risky though. Saving when somebody else's pocket though it is. You
Yes.
really, if you think about it, you giving somebody else money. Like I think that's safe when it's not even this. You can't even trust your parents sometimes. Like I've seen parents that, oh, yeah, my son gave me money to save for them, but I spent that shit. I give them
Oh,
food and I give them this and
look
la,
at
like,
Look
whoa,
at Britney Spears with the conservatorship,
yes,
right?
yes. How crazy is that? Yes,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Thinking about
yeah,
her own dad, like did stuff.
yeah. See, and I think that's a good way to end it off. It's if you're gonna get, no matter what, no matter who it is, if you're getting involved
Yes,
in money, right?
yes,
You need some type of legal documentation,
some
some
type of
grounds
protection.
so that I can come back at you and say, look, this is not what we agreed on, man. And guess what? You can take that to court. You can take there's
Yes,
small claims, right? You can take that to court. And that would give you all you needed. Look, this is you know what I'm saying? This is an email. We both and make sure people ratify it. Yes, I approve.
Eh,
And
yeah. And if you're in the wrong family, like mafioso, I'm just playing, but
oh, yeah, no, no, because don't do that. So yeah, thanks, folks. That's a good topic. I like, and we continue to talk about these topics of how to save, how to just financial wellness, man. This journey of
yeah,
financial wellness is deep. It could take it takes a lot of research and it takes just time.
yeah,
It just takes time. Put some time into yourself. Invest in yourself.
yes. Invest in
Um,
education. Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
What else,
So
man? Before we go,
tune in next week. Next week we're going to be
ooh,
talking about
yes.
if your employer can take your entire paycheck or not.
That's right. Can they deduct if they feel like you owe them something? Can they just take it out your check without telling you? Is it possible? We're going to talk about those things because the rules are shocking, folks. State by state, it's different
Yes.
rules, and we're going to go into it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
so it's going to be a good one. Thank you, sir. All right, man.
Thank
Till
you.
next time, folks. Have a good one. We love you. Peace.
Peace.